Hello, my name is Zachary Carmiel, and I'll be talking to you about biomass conversion today, but a few specific aspects. Now, just to start off, I'm going to write a number on the board, and I want you to tell me when to stop writing zeros for tons of biomass the US is going to have available annually.
No.
Okay, now.
Oh, one too many. But you're all impressed even by here, so that's fine by me. We are going to have 13 billion tons of dry biomass available annually, according to USDA report given about 3 years ago. This is dry biomass. It sounds great until you realize that most biomass comes at least 50% wet. And when you know you have to spend over 2,000 kilojoules per kilogram to dry that, even if it's at 100 degrees, you're talking about a serious problem. You're not getting the energy in versus energy out. That's why, in recent years, biomass has switched to jet fuel, specialty fuels, really high-level things, because frankly, it's never going to make sense. Heavily subsidized ethanol was still maybe pushing even, and they were pushing the limits of that technology. An advancement in that, and I believe a member of our audience knows quite well, is the aqueous phase partial oxidation. A professor here at UNR, Dr. Lin, has been working on that. The key line is aqueous phase. We need the water for the reaction. When you eliminate the cost of drying the biomass, all of a sudden you don't have to make jet fuel. You can make any chemical. As long as the biomass is available, they're not doing anything with it currently. If it's just simply a waste product and you can convert it to anything usable, your price point is going to go above that. You can get industry actually attracted to it. That means you don't have to wait for $1 billion of funding research. You can actually go out to venture capitalists and get this work done. An example would be the Sierra Nevada Brewery. They throw away 3 tons of waste a day from brewing their beer. It's just the grain. 70% of that is water. They make $1 per ton by selling it for feed. That's fine by them. They're not losing money, but they're shipping 70% wastewater. If we were to use that, we could turn it, and we did this in a very simple test, with a solid catalyst. We turned it into DHA, dihydroxyacetone, the active ingredient in suntan lotion. So we're apologizing for all the orange tans if that were to take off. However, it costs $3 to convert, but we can sell it for $5 per pound. Right there, we're already making a profit. We're doing something usable. We're making a product that currently we'd have to import from overseas. We're making it locally. That's a huge advantage. And if you want to look at the environmental impact, shipping liquids over the Pacific, because most of this is produced in China, as opposed to producing it at home, that's a great environmental step. It's an easy PR move. The second advantage of the aqueous phase partial oxidation is the solid catalyst. The 2 most expensive steps in biomass conversion is the drying and the separation. When you're using harsh mineral acids, separation process is not only complicated, but toxic, requires a lot of extra equipment, EPA regulations. A screen to separate out a solid catalyst is much less expensive than a liquid-liquid extractor with 5,000 plates. You cut down on the actual cost of operation. You cut down on the footprint of your chemical productions plant. Some companies are looking at this not as heat integration, but materials integration. Same concept. If they have waste on site and they need acetic acid for their food production, which is a very common desire, if you can get that from your own waste, you now don't have to pay nearly what it is to ship, have customer service. That is a hassle compared to making it on site. So when we have that much biomass, and the conversion best right now to a drop-in fuel is levulinic acid from cellulose to gamma-valerolactone, which is a process developed by James A. Domesic, a fantastic researcher. But that's a 2-step liquid process. It can only be added 30% to gasoline. While that is very good, we're not making a true dent in the fuel pool in that way. If we have a simple 1-step process to a usable chemical, we are sitting pretty. So So I thank you for your time, and if anybody has questions, I'll take them now.
What is this catalyst, and is it cheap?
The catalyst that we used for the Sierra Nevada product was simple zirconia with a copper wet impregnation method addition. Wet impregnation method is one of the, it sounds extremely simple, but it's even way too complicated for what that is. We put a solution of copper onto the zirconia and then bake it. And that's it. And it is reusable. That's the key in these catalysts. When you get them that they're reusable, you really cut down on your cost too. That's why you look for those stable, simple, recoverable catalysts when you're making smaller market value things like acetic acids.
Do you use waste biomass or pure cellulose?
In some of the research to get to levulinic acid, we used pure cellulose. To get to that DHA product, we used untreated, wet, straight, raw biomass. And the ability to break that down, they were having extreme problems before. They did some efforts with it. They first dried it and then tried to convert it. Well, the husks of the wheat and the barley were quite tough. We were able to get 70% conversion just by doing the aqueous phase step alone without a catalyst.
What kinds of pressures and temperatures would you use?
The pressures and temperatures most commonly used, 220 through 240 with a C, with a pre-pressurization of roughly 300 psi. It's gone up higher than that. We were always looking to push down, try to keep it as less caustic for the materials as possible. Thank you for your time.